Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with a Four of Swords. Four of Swords to me kind of feels like you're trying to reach out. You're trying to sort of connect with more people, you know? I think you're trying to maybe network. It could be that you're the kind of person now that like you're ready to like start making friends. You're ready to kind of socialize more. I feel like you're kind of, I don't know, I feel like you're emerging from maybe a kind of a hermit mode a little bit. And we're ready to connect. We're ready to share ideas. We're ready to like get to know people. We're kind of ready to let people get to know us, you know. I feel like this is, it's a time of kind of expanding our circle a little bit. Yeah, this feels good. Let's put this into some context, of course. Let's see what is going on here. You got an Ace of Wands, okay. Three of Pentacles, Four of Wands, the Moon card, and the Eight. Ah, okay, interesting. I kind of feel like you have a, I don't know if it's an idea. You have this Ace of Wands. This feels like an impulse, like a creative surge of energy that's just kind of like, maybe you feel that by expanding your circle, it's going to bring in like some fresh perspectives. It's kind of like when you're trying to figure out a way forward at work, and it's just kind of like you might want to bring in more people from the department and like, let's brainstorm, you know? This could be what we're doing here is this brainstorm with this Ace and this Four here. So very interesting. I like that. We have two of the fours, Four of Wands and Four of Swords. So it could be that we feel stuck on an idea, or we feel like we're in need of a little, I don't know, inspiration. So maybe this is just like, let's expand our circle, let's network, let's connect with other people, let's just have conversations, and that idea will come. It's like we're not searching for the answer. We're just kind of, we're out there experiencing life. And the good idea will come to us. The answer that we're seeking will appear, you know? And so I like this. I think this is really good for you. Let's finish up with the Path of the Serpent. We have the World card. We have a Six. I like the Six of Wands here. We have the Sun card. And we have the Three of Wands. A lot of good fire energy today. We have the Sun card in a weird position. It's kind of the position of the obstacle. And it is kind of like the illumination, right? That's our fear, worry, and concern, is that we're not going to get the clarity, that we're not going to have that illumination. And so I feel like that's the appropriate thing for you, is to just get to know people, share ideas, have conversations. It is through conversations with other people, strangers, random people, right? People that believe things opposite of what you believe. It is through that stimulation that great ideas are born, right? And I feel like that's what's going on here, is that you're open to communicating with a lot of different people, places, things. You're probably like researching other things. You have a lot of other interests. It's like you're pursuing knowledge in places that you never really would have looked before. Yeah. And I think that's how good ideas are born, right? So this is really nice. Let's select a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and we're going to set it down right here with big red ant right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this reading you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments. Okay. Let's take a look around the room. I like what the major arcana are doing. Okay. We've got the darkness of the moon, all right, the dark, scary forest, the unknown, the uncertainty, the confusion, the really dim view of things we cannot see. Then we have enlightenment, right? Then we have the full light of day, right? In here, in the sort of moonlight and the dark energy, we can not really make out the forms. We feel like there's just some shadowy shapes around, but it's just kind of like the answer's not really appearing to us. It's we can kind of see an outline of something, but I just can't see what it is. It was not coming into view. It's not. I need a light bulb in here to to really show me what this thing is. And of course, that's the Sun card. This is now that full illumination where you can see the grand scheme. You can see the whole idea, in your mind's eye. Okay. And of course, we have the world or the universe card, which is showing to me that you're really someone with a big destiny. I think you're meant for very big things in life. Okay. But I think right now we're kind of we're sort of floating around in this uncertain energy where we're not really sure which direction to take. This kind of feels like we don't know which way is up. In outer space there is no up or down, right? So I feel like what we need is grounding. What we need is stability. What we need is I think the stability and the grounding that comes through just connecting with other people in your life. Friends, family members, co-workers, strangers, just like sitting down and having an exchange of ideas. Maybe you are researching different things on YouTube. Maybe you're on some of the forums or chat rooms and you're just sharing ideas. You're having conversations, as a way to kind of to stabilize our thoughts right now and to allow this good idea to be born. And I wonder what this good idea is going to be. So anyway, we've got fire, 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 a lot of fire energy. Okay. We don't have any water. The moon card is a Pisces energy. That might be where our water is right now. It might be that our emotions are kind of tied up in this little bit of fear of the unknown, a little bit of this uncertainty, and we're just kind of like, whenever we're faced with a frightening situation, what do we like to do as human beings? We like to know that there are people around, right? There's sort of strength in numbers kind of thing, right? We want to know that, okay, I can talk to this person, I talk to this person, I just talk to my friends. It's kind of like when you're going through a bad time in life. Best thing to do is call your friends over. Not to sit there and talk about our problems, but to just share, just to have ideas, just to have conversation, right? It's a way of securing ourselves by feeling that there are other people around and we are connected to other people. We just want to talk. We just want to have other voices around, So I wonder if that's where our water energy is sort of collected now inside of that moon card. We have air and air, okay? And of course we have our earth energy down here. I like that we have these kind of earth cards here, and then we have our fire cards that kind of, light up the way this way. So I feel like you are really searching for this Ace of Wands. You want the next big idea. You're looking for the great thing. What do I do in life? This is that aha moment. This is the spiritual vision. And we have to have this vision. And I think you're trying to really see what this is for you, what your creative will is, what your path, what your purpose is in life. And so this is, to me, it feels like a flash of insight. It feels like a sudden dawning of illumination where we see. It's almost the way the sudden burst of light will imprint an image onto a photographic negative. By exposing it to light, it sort of takes on the image of that light. So I feel like illumination is coming for you. And this illumination is going to give you a mental imprint of what your life is supposed to be. There's a flash of this solar light, spiritual light, that is going to be occurring. And really, it kind of feels like it's more likely to occur when we're just almost distracted by other conversations. When we're just involving ourselves in other things to take our mind off of it. You see what I mean? And that's when we're going to have this flash, I think, of really an overwhelmingly bright light. And it's going to give you that vision of what you're supposed to do in your life. Okay? But we don't go seeking illumination. It's kind of like it's going to happen in the normal course of the day. So what do? You try to make your life as normal as possible. And I think that's where we have that Four of Swords. It's just, wanting to expand our networks. And in a way, this really is like just getting some sort of mental stimulation from other places. You're watching different TV shows. You're looking at different YouTube channels. You're talking to different people. You're reading different magazines and newspapers and stuff. You're just like nothing too specific or intentional. It feels like we're just networking. We're exploring. We're connecting with other things. We're expanding our circle a little bit. We're letting in other opinions. It's not really that serious, And I think this is what Spirit is recommending for you, as a way for you to have this dawning of illumination and begin the next phase of your life here. Because see, we have this Four of Pentacles down beneath the surface. You understand the process of creation on the physical plane. You understand that the materials that are here need animation, right? It needs to be awakened by this spiritual electrical current. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to find the current. We're trying to find it by not looking for it, We're trying to let ourselves sort of naturally tune into this spiritual current that's going to wake up this all of this energy, all this matter, all of this the resources, the raw materials, right? So I don't know if you're kind of an engineer, or you have some kind of high-level thinking and problem solving. Like you're a very creative person. You're kind of like far out there, I think, in a way. You understand the process of creation. You understand that like the artist needs to be inspired. I don't even know if this is art. It almost feels like this is something. It's something I don't know if you're a physicist. Like it's something on the quantum level for you. It may be an artistic thing though. It feels like we know that we have all the materials. We just need the inspiration. It's like you have all your paint set up. You got your canvas, your brushes, your paints, or whatever. All we need is like the inspiration. All we need is the animating spiritual current, and then we're off, and then we're just painting, and it's a whirlwind, it's a rush, and it just flows out of you, right? So it's sort of like we're looking for inspiration by not looking for it. Okay, I think it's part of your process. We have the Four of Wands in the background. I think you've completed a particular cycle in life. You've completed a project. You've put the finishing touches on something. You shipped it. And now it's kind of like, I'm just going to go about my daily life, read the paper, talk to my friends, go out for walks and talk to the animals, just do kind of normal things and just try to let our minds expand. When I say expanding the circle, it's kind of like you're just allowing your mind to flow and connect with various things without trying to be too specific or too intentional about it. Because this is kind of like the last painting is done, and maybe this is part of your process, And this the last cycle for you, and it feels like a creative cycle, has been completed, and now it's just sort of living life in a very, it seems like it's just in a very natural and normal way, trying to connect with people and waiting for the next inspiration to hit, And then when that inspiration hits, I think we have two choices. And the one choice is to go in the way of the Eight of Swords, which is going to be to analyze it to death. Like literally involve the mind too much, and the mind is going to poo-poo the idea, as they say, right? The Eight of Swords is a card of rumination. It's a card of like having this inspiration, but then there are too many thoughts about it. I'm sabotaging myself, really. I'm thinking about it a lot. I'm analyzing it. I'm thinking, well, maybe not, maybe this, what if I do it this way? And we're involving the mind too much. And this is very, very interesting because the expansion, this is Jupiter in Libra, okay? This is Jupiter in Gemini. The Jupiter in Libra is saying we're expanding our mind. And maybe you're expanding your mind through some plant medicine or some other techniques, right, that I'm not advocating, but those are out there. I'm not recommending anything. But we're expanding our mind in order to connect with that spiritual current of creativity, okay? What we're doing here is we're expanding, not expanding the mind, but expanding the thoughts. As your mind expands, we run the risk of there's much more room for thoughts, right? It's kind of like if you get a bigger fish tank, your goldfish is just going to eat more food and grow bigger. So the mind is expanding, but we don't want the thoughts to expand. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't want to be like thinking, twice as much as we used to. We're sort of like we're looking to expand the mind and just have it be an empty room a little bit, So we could go this way of overanalyzing this spiritual current, and then I think it's sort of like we're paying attention to too many of the details. We're like micromanaging the spiritual current of creativity, right? And we don't really want to do this. Yeah. The likely outcome here is if you're aware of how your thought process is going to sort of try to take over, then we just allow that spiritual current to get to the spiritual work, to just flow forth from us, and we are sort of living, I don't know, kind of spontaneously, I guess, but with intention and with purpose, but not with overthinking. This is kind of like just living almost impulsively. We're attached to the current is flowing through us. Mentally, I'm trying not to get involved. I'm trying not to sabotage this by overanalyzing it. Okay, so we're letting it flow forth from us, and I think this is you beginning that action, beginning that work, and doing whatever this inspiration is motivating you to do. Okay, we talked about the moon card at the top here, which again, it's kind of like it's almost as if we are trying to activate the unconscious. We're trying to activate the imagination. We're trying to activate the spontaneous surfacing of images and ideas, right? By occupying the mind with other things. So it's kind of like you give the mind something sort of habitual and something routine to do. It's like, I'm just going to read the paper. I'm going to talk to my friends. I'm just going to have gentle sort of, not debates, not like these angry sort of arguments with people, but just like nice, easy conversations. Energy is flowing. I'm just watching a little TV. I'm going to read some books. I'm going to talk to people. It's going to be real easy going. And that's going to allow, I think, this imagination, this creative energy, this unconscious energy to sort of bubble up and do what it needs to do, And so there is always the tendency for the mind to overreact. And I think we've all had an experience of this, right? You know that when you wake up from a sleep and you've had a very intense dream. I think you've been having a lot of vivid dreams lately. You might even be a lucid dreamer. But you know that when you wake up from a very vivid dream, as soon as you start thinking and your conscious mind is engaged and active and running, its programs, we forget all about the dream. So it's very important that when we wake up and that dream is still very fresh in our souls, that we just try to somehow write it down or record it as quickly as possible before we start thinking too much, before we start thinking about it, right? And so when I say that you're trying to expand your circle, it is that we're trying to give space and create space for the creativity. And I think that we're also just kind of like, we're making these mental connections with other things so that we're not focused on what we're trying to bring about, And so it's kind of, when you're trying to find the right idea, best thing to do is not think about it. Does that make sense? When you're trying to perform your art or whatever to the best of your ability, you don't want to be too mindful of it. We don't want to analyze every single muscle movement. We just have to be in the flow, right? And so overthinking is going to really, it's going to kill any kind of spontaneity, any kind of creativity, all right? And so that's the sort of, it's kind of the warning there, I guess, with the Eight of Swords. But on the path of the Serpent, your general energy is the universe or the world card. And again, this feels like maybe we need a little bit of grounding. Okay? And I think we are kind of grounding our energy through our interpersonal relationships. Again, not stressful. Just easygoing, share ideas. We're going to just, don't do anything that's going to upset your mind or agitate your mind. We're just trying to expand the circle and network a little bit, right? And we did talk about the brainstorming. the brainstorming, which is, I think, what happens when we do receive that electrical current, that spiritual, creative current of energy. The 4 plus the ace, we get the 5. We do get that sort of storm in the brain, right? The mind is just kind of going nuts, going a mile a minute. We have to be able to channel that immediately into action and into that flow, creative flow state, rather than allowing that brainstorm to turn into overanalysis and too much mindfulness and then the sort of analysis paralysis, right? So the brainstorm is kind of like, it's what we want, but then once we get it, we have to like be able to use it like in the right way, you know. But this card as a general energy is showing that we're just kind of I almost feel like a sensory deprivation kind of thing for you, you know? Or it's almost the way in meditation you would use a mantra just to give the mind something to do so it's not thinking. You know what I mean? Like we're thinking about something, and I think this is the same as when we kind of set up our life where it's a little bit, it's not agitating and it's not stressful, that we just kind of have our habits, our routines. We got our people we talk to, read the paper, or watch YouTube, watch TV, books, and, you know, we're occupying our mind so that we are not obsessing over the thing that we really truly are caring about and what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And so the same way in meditation, that you'll give yourself a focus. You're going to meditate on the breath going in through your nose, or you're gonna have a mantra, a phrase that you're repeating over and over and over again, just to give your mind something to do. That's just kind of boring but calm and peaceful, to invoke that sort of tranquility that then we need to have that illumination. Okay, so this might be all about meditation for you. If that is the case, the 4 of Swords obviously becomes our breathing. Right, breathe in, you hold it, you breathe out, you hold it, you breathe in. And it gives us something to focus on so that we're not obsessing over what's my next idea, what's my next idea? Am I going to be enlightened? Where's my illumination? Where's my illumination? Is it coming now? Is it coming now? You know, I mean, that's sort of defeats the purpose, right? So we got to sort of forget about it if we want it to happen. Yeah, very interesting cards. And again, this is the... I think this is your patience. I think this is your ability to know that, you know what, when the path reveals itself, I'll be there to receive it, and then we're off to the races. Until then, I can just sort of float here. And then I always get that kind of sensory deprivation thing where it's just like, I'm just going to sit here and relax. And when the energy hits me, then we're like level 10 activity. We're like off to the races, you know. And in the environment, you have that, you have a this is another Jupiter energy. A lot of Jupiter energy for you right now. I bet you have a very strong Jupiter placement in your chart. We've got Jupiter in Libra, Jupiter in Gemini. This is Jupiter in Leo. And so, you know, when the time is right, you're going to be expanding your efforts big time. I mean, this is just like, we have this, we have an expansion that you're trying to expand. You're going to take this idea and you're going to grow this, and you're going to let it, so you're going to give it space so that it can grow. You're not going to let the mind interfere with that. It's almost as if you are just a servant. You are just a channel or a conduit for this divine energy. This idea is just coming through you, and you're the one that's going to give expression to this. This is, you know, this is the big idea, the big creative energy. This is the song, this is the book, this is the movie that you're going to create. And it's like, this is already out there in the universe. And if you receive it, then you're going to manifest it. If you receive it and you sort of deny it or you interfere with it, this is going to go to someone else. This already exists out there in the universe. But you're tuned in enough, you're being open and receptive to receiving the creative impulse. And if it hits you, you're going to run forward with it. You're going to expand it. You're going to do your very best to honor this and give it life, right? But it's already out there, and it could very easily attach to somebody else, you know? But you're being open to receiving what is going to be meant for you, and it's up to you if you're going to honor that. Okay, just because we receive the creative impulse or that idea or that inspiration, that's only the beginning of the work, because then we have to try to not interfere with that and not try to edit it or manipulate it very much. We have to figure out how it wants to be expressed and how we can best do that given what our nature and powers are. Okay? But the idea is kind of like the song already exists out there in the ether somewhere. Whether it's going to be coming through you or coming through somebody else, right? But that song is going to be made by somebody, you know. Anyway, we've got the Sun card next, which I think is obviously that illumination that we are wanting and waiting for, but we're trying not to wait with bated breath. We're trying to just be open and receptive to that illumination by not caring about it, by just being kind of zen, being kind of tranquil, and I think by doing other things, like it's almost like we're trying to just give it a good, we're trying to create a mind that is ready for it, but that is also well equipped to handle it. So again, I think you're reading other stuff, you're watching a lot of different things, you're seeking out new information, you're talking to different people in a very calm and very chill way. Because the more you sort of build up your mind, the more that this spiritual, creative energy is going to find a very well-built temple when it arrives, you know? And that's the illumination that we're sort of waiting for that arrival. And of course, the Three of Wands is you going forward with that creative idea in a way that is going to be the most virtuous. And that means that you are honoring this creative impulse and you're not interfering with it with your own mind. Just because maybe you personally think, well, you know, it's kind of ego consciousness. Well, I would do it differently. Well, I think it should look like this. I think it should be this. You're just letting it flow. It's like, this is what wants to manifest. And I'm going to honor that with my virtue by not trying to edit it or manipulate it or interfere with that flow. Okay. Now, mystery card. I want to see some water energy. I want to see that we're experiencing that flow state. I want a Six of Cups. Okay, I want the resonance. I want the harmony. I think it's going to be some earth energy, though. I think like it's going to manifest as something. I'm thinking a Four of Pentacles. Maybe we'll get real lucky. We'll get a 6, a 9, or a 10 of Pentacles. Yeah. Let's see what we have. Oh, the Tower. Well, yeah, that's the Tower is perfect. It is that sudden breakthrough, right? It's that moment of just a surge of enlightenment. It is the rush when we least expect it. Boom, Kundalini awakening, full spiritual activation. It's like the creative idea hits you like a bolt of lightning. Yeah. And I think that we can either reel from that and we can overthink it and we can sort of sabotage it, or we can just let that spiritual fire take hold and let it move us and drive us into this creative act. But this is that sudden breakthrough. This is that, you're leveling up, okay? And you're not seeking it. It is finding you. I think this is absolutely amazing. We're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching card. We'll do some oracle cards. Okay. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Libra on Wednesday and Saturday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are free. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you. And I love you. And I'll see you again very soon.